Hi, my name's Lindy Cowling and welcome to the channel. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk, email info@lindycowling.co.uk, and the title of the short video this evening is Camouflaged Connections or False Connections, camouflage or false connections. So this video came about, as some of my videos do, from personal and experiential experience, and sometimes these videos come about through working and reworking energies, templates, etc. in sessions with other people. And I'm always delighted when that happens, because not only does that create a shift in them and sometimes a shift in me, but it creates a shift in the collective template of awareness and consciousness. And it is something that I can then go on and gift to you guys. So this camouflage connections, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is you can connect with somebody, and the main reason you are drawn to them is because you see you in them. This is the kicker, because sometimes genuinely you see the purity of you and the purity of them. But this video isn't about that. This video is about when you are drawn to someone, pulled to someone because you see the reflection of you in them. What if you are not seeing the reflection of you in them, but they are holding up a mirror, not them as your mirror, they are holding up a mirror so that you see your reflection in it, and you interpret that you are seeing it as them, but in fact it's not. It's a mask, it's a front, it's a false perception, it's a mirror. Now, I personally feel this is where the concept of false twin flames comes from, false connections comes from. Because just like I have identified before on some of the characteristics of people, particularly sociopathic characteristics, psychopathic characteristics, narcissistic or full-blown narcissism, they have in their personality abilities to wear a multitude of masks, to hide behind masks, sometimes even hide behind the mask within themselves, to themselves. And many of those characteristics, those people have an automatic disconnect between the soul and the spirit. It's like a missing link, which is where other energies can get involved and disruptor energies can get involved. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just look back at my earlier videos on disruptor energies where I explain that at length. The mechanics of how it works is when you are drawn to the mirror, it may not always be the person that is your mirror. They may be holding up a mirror in front of them so that you correctly identify seeing you, and you misinterpret that as you thinking it's them as an aspect of you, and in fact it's a front, a mask, a mirror. So not just the personality and the masks and the hiding behind different consciousness of these people's characteristics, actually energetically, a bit like a predator having a tool in their toolkit, a camouflage, they can automatically, energetically hold up a mirror, so that the purity and the goodness and the authenticity and the truth of you see reflected back at you, not from them, but by them, with this energetic mirror. Hence the title, Camouflaged Connections. Because you have misinterpreted this, oh, there goes the lights, because you've, thanks for the validation, because you've misinterpreted this, or may have misinterpreted this, you automatically are drawn to them because you're being drawn to yourself, not because yourself is in them, but because you're seeing yourself in the mirror that they're holding up. You feel this pull. Sometimes it is not the energetic purity of the pull that we've spoke about before many times on this channel. What if the pull you're feeling is a drag or a yank on your energy, like reeling you in, so that you energetically, spiritually, in soul and personality, invest in what you've seen in the mirror, which is you in the mirror, but not them. It keeps you hooked, invested, and therefore an automatic energetic drain is set up to reel you in. Now, if you are someone on a trajectory that is becoming fully self-aware, fully actualized, fully realized, fully conscious, you will be onto this fairly quickly, and you will recognize in your gut those alarm bells and those something's not sitting right here, and you will be onto it. You will be onto it. If you are someone that is not so self-aware, not got to that point in your evolution where you're that conscious yet, you could get drawn in hook, line and sinker. Drawn in not just for a few days, but weeks, months or years. And how these, thank you, and how these energies operate is that they draw you in and keep just at the perimeters, just out of reach, so that you keep clawing at the mirror, drawn to the mirror, which is you in the mirror, but they are not the mirror. They're holding it up. They're hiding behind it. So you weren't mistaken in falling in love with what was in the mirror. Actually, you're falling in love with yourself. That's the positive thing that comes out of this. You are getting a reflection of yourself, whether they're holding up a false mirror or not. But how these characters operate is they draw your energy in. It's a draining like energy, and then through a process of osmosis, it's like a drip being set up, really. They draw it in and it filters back through them. So they are like a chameleon, showing you, and that is the irony of it. They're showing you, but they are not you. It is a masquerade, thank you, not just to let you see you. They don't actually do that for that purpose, but actually that's the byproduct of it, which is fantastic. On the positive side of it, you are getting to see you through this charade. They do it as a purpose of feeding, of drawing you in, of keeping you hooked. And underneath that underbelly, which I have identified tirelessly over and over again, that inversion of energy, that black hole under these templates of unrequited love, under these programs of unrequited love, which I've spoke about over and over again on this channel, how they operate is underneath it. So it's a never-ending supply for the characteristic that hooks you in this way, the character, and a never-ending supply for the supermassive black hole, the inverted energy underneath, orchestrated by the disruptor energies. Sounds like something out of science fiction. What is the plus side of this? You are getting to see you regardless. you are getting to see you regardless. Whether it's a mirror sham, a camouflage or not, you are getting to see you regardless, because it is you in the mirror that they hold up, in the mirror that they're hiding behind. They're holding that up energetically. So you have the double whammy. You have the characteristics in a personality of these personalities that hide behind masks, sometimes even unknown to themselves. But you have the energetic characteristic, like a predator, camouflaged in order to draw in its prey. It's like a panther in the jungle, calling out, putting out a mating call. I don't know if panthers put out mating calls. I'm not trained in things like that. Puts out a call, a signal. You're another panther. You come up, and you come up in front of a great big mirror, and you see you, and you fall in love with you. You trust you, because in the mirror it is you, and you misinterpret the mirror for them, what's in them. I'm not saying that this is what is always happening, because you can have the genuine expression of you in another being. But for the purposes of this video, I am talking about camouflage connections, false, let's call it false connections. And you can see how so much growth and learning and realization comes out of that, because you are still seeing you, even if it's you in a mirror that they're behind. But the flip side of it is the unrequited love program, the inversion of energy, disruptor energies, etc. underneath that. In some ways, I could say there is no bad news here, because you are still falling in love with you, even though it is in some ways the most painful way to do it. You're falling in love with you through a mirror put in front of a personality that is basically on a disconnect, almost like hollow really, that is feeding from you. Probably the most challenging and complicated way of finding you. And yet there it is, not a new thing. It has existed for millennia, but it is there. And on that note, I will love you and leave you. This was an unplanned video, very spontaneous, wanted to strike while the iron was hot. Thank you to the wonderful soul, the wonderful lady that inspired this in a way, and she knows who she is. And I will see you again soon. I'll love you and leave you. And I hope that helps. Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye.